let that dry, and now onto the priming. Now, since this piece is staying in the family, it's a perfect project to put this bonding primer to the test. I've used this Bonding Boss primer on my last few makeovers, and I've had amazing results. That said, I've scuff sanded every project before priming because they will be for sale. So I always like taking that extra step when I'm selling the furniture. This slick factory finish on this stool is the perfect project to test this bonding primer's limits. So rather than scuff sand, I primed 2 coats right over the factory finish. As per directions, I waited 24 hours before painting. I used a synthetic brush to apply this clear primer, and as you can see, it does go on milky. And this way you can see where you're brushing it and if you've missed any areas. The way I like working with this while I'm brushing it on is just getting it on there. As you'll notice, I brush it on kind of any which way, willy-nilly, and then once I have the product on the project, I go in and I smooth everything out. After I had the body of this project done, it was onto the feet, and I went ahead and primed the feet in the same way. And as you'll notice, any sort of rounded foot or arm or leg on a piece of furniture, I go at it with the brush sideways. Like I don't paint the foot up and down. I actually go around the perimeter of it. This way it does not leave brush marks and it smooths out beautifully. Now I knew I wasn't going to paint the top of this. I mean, it's just particle board. It has a hole in the middle, and obviously there was material and foam and upholstery on top of it. But I did want to prime it because this Bonding Boss stops odors as well. Not that this had any odor whatsoever, but I just thought sealing this particle board was not a bad idea. The first coat of primer was applied and everything was left to dry for 2 to 3 hours as per instructions on this bonding primer. It depending on your area, whether it's humid, not humid, dry, cold, hot, anywhere between 2 and 3 hours is sufficient, and then you go in and apply a second coat. As per directions on this primer, I left everything to dry for 24 hours, and then I came back the next day and started giving it the scratch test. I took a little foot and I used my nail and scratched and scratched and scratched, and it was odd. The color changed slightly, turned a little bit white, but the primer was really on there. Like the primer was not scratching off. Then I thought I would use something sharper, the top of a screw head, and I really went at it trying to scratch that primer off with the sharp edge of the screw head. And again, it discolored, but the primer stayed on there. I did the same thing with the particle board. And the same thing with the body of the piece. I'd say it passed with flying colors. So if you have some sort of factory finish that you do not want to sand, this Bonding Boss works great.